Our scripture reading is taken from John 14, 15 through the 17th verse. And this scripture deals with Jesus. Not only is he speaking to his disciples, but he's also speaking to the multitudes that have gathered around him. But this scripture is also speaking about the Christ consciousness that was in the man Jesus that was speaking to all of humanity. John 14th chapter, the 15th through the 17th verse. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide within you forever. For even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But if ye know him, for he dwelleth within you, and shall be within you. And thus is the scripture reading of St. John, the 14th chapter, 15th through the 17th verse. Again I say unto you, good morning and blessings. Now, when we read this scripture, as I said, it is Jesus speaking to his disciples. It's Jesus speaking to the multitude that had gathered around him. But it is also the Christ consciousness in the man Jesus speaking to all of humanity. Speaking to all of humanity. And now when scripture states, as Jesus said, that the Father will give you another comforter, that he may abide within you forever, that he may abide with you forever. And as he goes on to state, the Spirit will dwell within you and shall be with you always. We are never separated from the Spirit of God. We are never separated from the Spirit of God. Now, what we have to understand is this. Although the Spirit is within us and dwells with us and is forever with us, as Scripture states, there are many that cannot receive the Spirit because they can't see the Spirit. There are many that will not receive the Spirit because they don't know the Spirit. But the Spirit dwelleth within us forever and forever. And as the song just said, go within. Access the power within. And the power within is the Spirit of God within you. As Scripture states, according to the teaching of Jesus, that he will pray the Father, and the Father will give you another comforter. In other words, the man Jesus was saying that when he exits the physical body, he will pray that God will give you another comforter. Someone that will be with you forever and ever. Someone that will not depart from you. Someone that will never leave you and will always be within you. the Spirit of God. We are created in the image and likeness of God. There can be no separation. And as long as we think that we are separate from God, as long as we think that there is a God that exists outside of ourselves, we will not come to know the very essence of what we are. We will not come to know the truth of our being. Scripture plainly states that the Spirit is within us, that the Spirit will always be in us and with us. You know, when we seek, and that's the word, seek is the word. Because unless we seek, we cannot know. It's not about hearing the so-called word of truth. You see, in actuality, truth cannot be articulated. We do the very best that we can to bring forth a description or some understanding where it is receptible to the human mind. Truth. The fundamental principles of truth is something that has to be experienced. And we can only experience truth by going within and accessing that consciousness or that oneness of God that dwelleth within us. When the masses speak of truth, they are speaking from an intellectual understanding. But when we start to internalize the intelligence of life, then we come to experience truth. Then we come to demonstrate truth. In all of Jesus' teaching and the so-called miracles of his ministry, Jesus was demonstrating truth. And as the many gathered around him in the teachings that he taught, there were many, even his disciples could not grasp what he was saying because they had not attained that level of consciousness. They were so imbued with the things of the world that they were looking for something that they could see, something that they could touch, something they could feel, something that they could taste. But this is not consistent with truth. Truth is an experience that takes place within us. And the manifestation and the demonstration of that truth flows out from the center of our being into our outer world. And thereby, we have the confirmation that truth abides within us. You've heard the saying, know the truth, and the truth will make you free. In order to know truth, you have to know it from the inside. You have to know it from within yourself. You cannot know truth out here. And that which we call truth or refer to truth out here is the intellectual gathering of data. And we call sometimes, most of the time, facts. Facts can change, but truth remains the same. And in order to know that unchanging truth, we must go within ourselves. And the truth that is within us is the truth that will make us free. Not the truth or the so-called truth of the world or the facts of the world. It is that truth that is within us. The very foundation, the very essence of what we are is what will make us free. Unchanging. And the truth that is within us. No man, no woman, no power of the world can take it away from us or change it. We can turn away from truth. We can deny truth. But that does not change the very essence of truth or life that permeates every fiber of our being. And until we come to know the truth of what we are, until we come to know the truth of the very essence of our being, we will not know the very essence of life. We will not know that which sustains and maintains us. And when we come to a point wherein we are dealing with some trials and tribulations, when there are some storms and some dark clouds in life, and we allow our faith to waver and say that we don't believe that God is within us. For we say if God is within us, then how come my life is tattered and torn? It is because we have denied the very essence of what we are. We look in the mirror and we can't see God. We can't see the magnificent creation of life that we call God because we're looking at the external part of us. We're looking at the physical part of us. We are not looking at what is behind this physical expression. We are not looking at the source and the power that has brought this physical expression into manifestation. We have to look and say, I am the light of God's consciousness. I am the light of life. We have to affirm it. We have to claim it. We have to know that it is the very essence of what we are. The truth of our being. And as the master teacher said, you will know him, for he dwelleth within you. Now, the only way that we know or come to know that the Spirit of life or the Spirit of God dwells within us, we have to go within. If we're constantly looking out here, we are denying the very essence of that which is within us. And the world cannot show us that which is within us. Even when we go to the doctors and have to be operated on and they cut us open and do all of this, they cannot see or reveal the spirit of truth that is within us. And when they have cut us open and did what they had to do and sewed us back up, the spirit is still right there within. Still right there within. We can spend a lot of time searching, or I shouldn't say searching, but seeking for other things outside of ourselves, seeking for happiness, for peace, for joy, prosperity, and success, and even, as they say, health, perfect health. But the very source of what we need, the very source of what we are seeking or searching for, is right there within us. It has always been. Now I want to say something. Sometimes I say I won't step on some toes here. Even sometimes I step on my own toes. But that's all right. If I step on my toes, that's my pain. But I step on your toes is because there's a truth that's causing you pain, a truth that you have been ignoring that's causing you pain. You know, sometimes when we have corns on our toes, because we sometimes wear shoes too tight. In the old days, they used to take a razor blade, kind of cut them corns, trim them corns down so they won't hurt as much. Well, when you deny truth, when you're doing the things that are untruthful, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt until you do something to alleviate the pain. And when you come to know truth, truth will eliminate all the sufferings and heartaches and headaches and backaches that you've gone through in life. I'm a living witness to it. And so I want to touch on something this morning. And I've spoken these things in the past because I want to get you from point A, and some say from point A to point B. I want to get you from point A to point Z. I want to cover the whole gamut of the alphabets in a few words. And you've heard me say this before. I welcome you all to this ministry, the study of metaphysics. Some might come just to hear the word. Some come to hear the word that they be uplifted, feel a little better for a season, for a time. But when you come to hear the word, that which is spoken, those principles that are shared with you of the things that you should incorporate into your consciousness, the things that you should take within you, the things that you should put into practice, so that there will be a transformation in your life and in the lives of others. We study metaphysics. And as I've said many times, metaphysics is not the top of the ladder. It is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Metaphysics is priming the pump. Metaphysics is the preparation. And you've heard me say many times, metaphysics is the bridge over troubled waters. If you're going through something in life, if you're struggling and having a hard time, if you don't have peace in your life, if you're not experiencing prosperity and success, if you're not experiencing perfect health or healthiness, study metaphysics. Study metaphysics. It will help raise you above the trials and tribulations of life. Metaphysics is that bridge that will carry you over into the spiritual life. It is that bridge that will carry you over into the promised land. But you cannot get into the promised land if you don't study the metaphysical and principles and the fundamentals. You only be stationary in the physical things of life. I want to say this morning to all of you, all that can hear, I've studied metaphysics for many years. But when you cross over into the land, into the promised land, when you cross over into that spiritual side of life, you must know and understand that it is because your commitment and dedication to the study of metaphysics that you have arrived. But I've said you cannot get on the bridge of metaphysics and stay stuck. You will never know the spiritual side or the promised land of life. It's not enough to accept what you hear. It's not enough to accept what you read. What you must do is that you have to go within. For it is within you that all truth is. It is within you that when you access this truth, this consciousness, and this oneness that is within you, then shall you be free. Then shall you be liberated from the boundaries and the limitations of life. Most folks think that freedom is being able to get up and go out your house and get in your car and just drive where you want to drive. That's what freedom is to a whole lot of folks. to just get up in the morning and go where you want to go. That's what freedom is to a lot of folks. But you might be free in your physical environment or your physical embodiment, but you're not free in your spiritual life. You're not free to know the very essence of what you are. You're not free in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul until we have made the commitment and the dedication to go within and to access the truth that is within us. We will not be free. We cannot be free because the world will not allow us. The master teacher said, be in the world, but not of the world. Don't be of the worldly mind. If you are of the worldly mind, you cannot be free. You will always be in bondage, chained and shackled, experiencing lack and limitation. We must rise above the confounds of the world and enter into that greater consciousness, into the promised land that is within us. The promised land is not a land that exists outside of us. The promised land is a land that exists inside of our consciousness. Master teacher said the kingdom of heaven is within you. That is the promised land. And in that kingdom, in that promised land that is within us, is all that we could ever desire. And nothing or no one can stop it from manifesting or expressing in us and through us. Only by our not believing, only by our not accepting that it is within us, will it not manifest and demonstrate in the outer world. As I've said many times, I am a living witness. You know, I want to say this in closing. Many people have referred to me as Reverend Jackson. Many have referred to me as Pastor Jackson. Many have referred to me as many other things. But I say to you this day, when you look at me, look beyond the physical appearance and recognize that I am. When you can look beyond the physical appearance of this physical embodiment and behold the I am that I am, then your spiritual eye shall be open. Then your spiritual eye shall be open. And you will be able to look upon every man, woman, and child even yourself, and recognize that I am that I am. God bless you.